happy Memorial Day. We're out here in the shop making a video today about a product we've had on the market. This isn't a new product. This is kind of a new old product for us. This is the Afterburner Ignition System that we've been selling, put on the market at PRI, and we've sold a ton of them since then. And because we haven't done a video, of course, Gina suggested it's time to make a video about this. And here we are today, and we're going to show you this system and how it's used. But just to kind of give you some of the chops for this system, you know, the headliner act here, of course, at Blackbird Performances, we're here to make your Gen 3 Hemi-powered dreams come true. And it's a place where racing expertise meets product innovation. So we like to sell race-proven parts. This thing is out on race cars going laps as we speak. Mark Dudley and his Duster with our race spec 700 plus horsepower engine in. I think he's on lap 96 now. He's had it in the car for 6 weeks. I think he's brought home money at 7 of his 8 races with this system as his one sole onboard electronics and ignition system. And it's been working flawlessly for him. So we can now say without a doubt it's race proven. We've of course proved it on the dyno several times before we went to market with it, and we're very proud of how it performs and how easy it is for people. So let's get into what you get. You get the box, and that box comes to you with everything in it you need to get started and hook it up, and it's pretty straightforward and easy. But to prove that, I'll just show you what you get. This is the lengthy instruction sheet. Now, we could have put a PDF that was 10 megabytes long that you had to download, but instead we send you this big instruction set right here. And this instruction set gives you pretty much everything you need to know to hook it up and make it work. And this would be the entire instruction sheet. It's about 8 bullet points long. It comes with a couple pictures because, you know, for guys like me, we like pictures and little labels. And this last page actually shows you how to hook the wiring up. And the wiring hookup page shows you very simply how to hook up the wires that are available. This kind of helps you through what connectors go where on the engine. And this simply just tells you in writing what to hook up where and how to power it up and make it work. The first time we hooked this up, true story, was in the dark. We were at Geoff's testing engines, and we had tested the Holly Dominator and fired the engine using it, and we wanted to compare it to this system to see if it produced identical power and expected results. We went to hook it up, and a big truck hit a pole down the road from his shop, and the power went out right about 5 o'clock. Most of the crew just left, but you know, we're pretty hardcore, so we got our headlamps on, we hooked this baby up, and we had the power from the battery to make sure it worked. Next morning we came in, I asked Richie, the fantastic dyno guy there, and said, hey man, what do you think the chances are it's going to start right up? I said 50-50. He said, I think it'll start, and he hit the button and it started right up. So we got lots of success stories with this. Now, this is what you get in the bag. You get the control module itself, which is this handy little guy right here. And the fantastic thing about this, we had been talking with and working on some kind of partnership with EFI Source for about 2 years. And Mike and his dad, Mike Sr., and we just spent a lot of time with them trying to find something we could go do together. These are Gen 3 Hemi hardcore guys making parts in the United States who come up with this system to allow us to fire the ignition on a Gen 3 Hemi with a carburetor on it. This is for folks that have a Gen 3 Hemi with a carburetor, and all they want to do is run the fantastic factory dual coils that fire both plugs. Firing both plugs is your friend, and this is a great system to do that on your engine if you want to put a carburetor on it. So this comes with a control box. You mount that in some nice place where it's not on the engine, away from the heat. You know, this guy needs to be in a kind of safe spot, so probably up inside the dash somewhere, in the car somewhere. You mount this control module next to it. That's the coil drivers. This harness comes with all the connectors you need. As I just showed you, these guys go inside the car where you're going to hook things up. This guy goes through the firewall, and these 8 coil connectors go to your 8 coils, 1, 3, 5, 7, 2, 4, 6, 8, and there's little numbers on those little wires that you can read. There's a ground wire for you to hook up. There is a crank sensor. Now those are all the wires that are required. If you'd like, you can hook this guy to a manifold absolute pressure sensor and have your timing map be a function of both the speed of the engine and how much manifold pressure is in the manifold. You can run it off both. So you have a 2-dimensional table for your timing in the system. It allows all that inside the car. You hook up wires here, pretty simple. One big wire for power, a 30 amp source for this you need. It's got a fuse and a relay set up on it, and the small little red wire goes to ignition on off. So it turns the system on off. That's what goes inside the car. Of course, you plug this guy into the control module. And then this last little bit here, this is the communication cable that comes with the system. We're going to go ahead and complete that for you. We've had enough folks call us, say, hey, we want to hook up this thing and talk to it and change the settings. So we're just going to throw in the other part of this connector you need to connect it to a laptop. This is a USB to serial. So you plug these two guys together, you can plug into your laptop. And of course, all important, and many of our customers suggested this, and we put it in all our products now, a couple of Blackbird performance decals if you want to put them on your car. So that is the complete system. It's as simple to hook up as those 5 instructions. Mark Dudley and his father, who had not run an electronic controlled engine ever in their career of racing, had been carburetor guys, big block Mopar, small block Mopar guys. They put this system in when they're getting ready to fire the engine for the first time, and it was late in the evening. And of course, I told them to call me if they had issues, and I think they sent me a text that at 12:45 a.m. They had it hooked up, and they spent about 15 minutes hooking up, and it fired right up. So a couple of good success stories with how simple it is to hook up and make work. Now, when you want to go to program it, you have to download software to a laptop, and then you can go in and make changes to the setting. What changes can you make? Of course, you can change the timing map that we just talked about. It could just be a timing map, simply RPM versus timing, or it can be RPM versus timing versus manifold absolute pressure in a map that you can change. You can change the rev limiter, of course, and you can change one of these wires as a hook up to a 2-step enable, and it will turn on a secondary rev limiter and give you a 2-step rev limiter. The other wire here is a TAC output. So that's all the wires you have, and the system's pretty complete and does what 99.6% of people need for this kind of a system. We do offer another system that's an upgrade from this. It comes with a different control unit. You have to have a crank and a cam sensor so it knows exactly where it's at in the firing, so that it can charge the coils a little longer and give you a little more spark energy. We find that in most extreme applications, boosted, higher horsepower applications with a big carburetor on them, you would need something like that. And we sell that system for $949. But this system, the system that we sell most of, that's on Mark's car, that's gone out and proven to be so successful, we've used it many places, this is $749. $749. The system is very capable, useful. Useful across a wide range of applications. It works with both the 32 tooth wheel. Now we had to go through a little troubleshooting to figure that out, thanks to Bob Seaman, Kevin Martini, who's involved in that, and his car, and Marcus, and those guys down in North Carolina. We sorted out how to make it work on a 32 tooth wheel and get all the settings correct and make it work. And we can make that work on the older wheels, or the newer wheels, which is more commonly used on now, the 58 tooth wheel. Of course, the competitive system to this is an MSD Hemi 6 box, which has been very useful, and people have used it for years. Still works great, but it only works with a 32 tooth, and it's $1,050 last time I checked on the retail market. This is $749. The upgraded system is $950, $949. So both systems are lower cost than that MSD offering. Both systems will allow you to use both the 32 tooth wheel and the 58 tooth wheel to fire the ignition control. So we think this is a great offering. It's been proven, like we like to say, race proven. In this case, it is race proven. Ask Mark Dudley, and a couple other folks are out doing it now with these, and it works great, and we're glad to be able to offer it. It's in stock, it's ready to ship, and of course, we're here Memorial Day working to bring you guys the Gen 3 Hemi Power Dream making stuff that we're working so hard on. This is the place where we take racing expertise and it meets product innovation, and we try to bring it to you as most cost effectively as we can. So thank all of you, and thank you for bought this system already and proven it, and we look forward to selling more of these to helping people make those dreams come true.